Unfortunately, I haven't finished my bracket yet. I'm working on it.
Galvin, it's okay, bro. Because to be honest with you, I saw an article about 1 through 68 this morning, and the first time I saw the full bracket was probably like 20 minutes ago, man. Like I'm excited, but not excited at the same time.
I'm actually really excited because basically since I think about 10th grade, it's kind of been a thing for me, like making a bracket. Like it usually gets to it's definitely shattered to bits by the second weekend. Like all of your educated guesses and knowledge of things that matter just thrown dashed against the rocks by reality. But um but now I'm kind of excited because there was no March Madness last year.
Yeah.
Like there was no NCAA tournament. And last year would have actually been really, really interesting because there were a bunch of teams that were good for the first time since the 50s. They had their best teams that they've had in a half century. And like a lot and those teams didn't get a tournament. And it's tragic. Some of there are players that returned from those teams, but I don't even think let me check. Dayton's not even in the tournament this year, and they would have been a 1 or 2 seed.
Wait, who?
Dayton
Yeah,
would have been a 1 or 2 seed last year.
bro. COVID robbed us of a lot of fun things, but hey, 2021's COVID has given us a bracket that we can finally get into. And let's go ahead and get into our first topic today. Calvin, of all of these number one seeds, we're talking about Gonzaga, we're talking about Baylor, we're talking about Illinois, we're talking about Michigan. Who going home first?
So I'm gonna make the argument with at least with the information that I currently have, and if you ask me Wednesday, I might have some different answers for you.
Yeah,
But probably Michigan because they're going to be without Isaiah Livers, and he's one of their better players,
yeah,
important piece. Um, and that leaves them vulnerable. And while I don't think it'll happen, that's if a 1 seed loses to a 16 seed, generally one of the things that has to happen is an important player gets hurt. Again, they probably won't because it basically never happens between the men's and women's tournaments. It's happened twice. Um, so that's not something to bet on, but that'll almost certainly send them home, or they're going to miss him.
yeah,
Probably sooner rather than later. If he were not hurt, my money would probably be on Baylor, not because as being most vulnerable, not so much because they are even though they're one of they're even as 1 seed, they're probably one of the better they're probably second to Gonzaga,
yeah.
depending on how you feel about it that day. But they've also missed a lot of time in total due to COVID, and that does seem to have affected them. It's they've dropped 2 games close in the season. I think they lost their last one. Um, but if they get in form, they'll run. They'll probably run through most of the bracket for real because most of the season it was basically them and Gonzaga
Exactly.
and everybody else.
Yeah. Nah, man, I fully agree with you here on that Michigan pick. I don't think anybody else outside of what you were saying with Baylor. I don't think anybody else has a harder 8-9 seed winner to go up against. Like Illinois is either going against Loyola Chicago or Georgia Tech, which are two capable programs, but they not Illinois. They don't got Kofi Cockburn. There's no Ayo Sumu. There's some pros
I mean,
there.
Georgia Tech does have the reigning ACC Player of the Year, so
But there's two pros compared to what the ACC Player of the Year and like a couple other dudes.
Like they've apparently haven't been terrible. Like
Yeah,
I feel like I'm sorry, I'm just not a big Pastor fan, but like they played fine. Like they're 17-8 on the year,
yeah.
11-6 in conference. Um,
Look,
like
just won the
bro,
ACC tournament
they
too.
have three dudes averaging over like 15 or more points per game.
Yeah. Hey, I agree with you that this is the toughest one, but I would almost say North Carolina and Wisconsin, whichever one of those teams might be better than Georgia Tech, or at least a harder matchup than Georgia Tech, just from like a talent standpoint and how many guys they're going to be able to throw at you. Um, and then if we're looking at the Oklahoma Missouri team, again another really good two teams, but when you look at who they're going to be going against in Gonzaga, that it's
Yeah,
what you gonna do?
they're not neither team is beating Gonzaga. I don't think.
Yeah, and then LSU or St. Bonaventure, you got people to worry about who were dangerous on both of those teams. Like those are two really solid units that Michigan has to then play without one of their best shooter scorers, as you were saying with Livers. Apparently, dude's shooting like almost like close to 60% on like open catch and shoot shots. So that sucks for them, considering that their big man draws a lot of attention. But
He also averages like eight. I mean, like 7 rebounds a game. Yeah,
yeah,
7.6 rebounds a game. Like, wait, no, my bad, six. I was looking at the wrong person. But like, they're gonna miss him. He's averaging 13.6 rebounds, 2 assists.
yeah. I'm just glad I don't root for Michigan. I ain't got to win. That's one less stress for me.
Once again, Calvin McGowan. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Um, if you are watching on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, leave something in the comments. Um, you can also listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. If you made it this far, once again, thank you. I hope you got a lot done of whatever it was you were working on while listening to this. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.